this is not too bad. Oh, okay, I was gonna say, hey, you was just, I was just talking to you.
I mean, like, where the unfilters at?
Oh. Okay, do you see this little thing?
Hey, sis.
Hey, Lara.
Namesake. Hey, namesake.
Hi.
Is that a good one? Oh, dang, y'all coming in already. Okay.
Oh, wow, Lara, that one is serious.
Is it good? Hey, guys, please, we are going to be starting in 3 minutes.
Lara,
we were just trying to get our filters and stuff together, please. So if you leave, come back. Don't leave and then not come back. We're just trying to get our filters together. Hey, y'all.
I'm gonna go like
and
this.
Make sure you look out for our 2 guests, please. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll be getting started on time. We just wanted to make sure that we were ready to go and at 7 o'clock. So thank you guys for joining. We appreciate it. Remember, you look fine, okay?
I know. Girl, I know. Sorry about that. This stupid hair, it's going to keep knocking my lash off.
It's okay.
If everyone, just tell us where you're from, your names. We're a family here, so.
I know. I saw my namesake. I saw Beth. Who else is here? We're going to be getting started on time.
We're a little bit early.
We're just early, just making sure that we were good to go. Drop where you are in the chat if you don't mind.
Let me wave at everybody.
Eb, hey girl, thanks for joining. We're starting at 7 o'clock on the dot. We're starting on time. We're just trying to get ourselves together. Thanks for joining, Eb. I feel like, should we've had like background music?
I can play some.
I know, right? Yes, we're getting started. We were just trying to be timely. Make sure we told people what time we were starting and started on time. Right? Okay.
Can you hear it?
All right, vibes. I can hear it.
Hey, Lucy, baby.
Hi guys, thank you for being on time. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. If I was close enough to my phone, I can kind of tap it, I think. Hi sis, hi Britt. We are waiting for our guests to join us so we can add them to the live and we can get started. Thank you guys for being timely. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Is that Sissy-in-law? Sissy-in-law, hey.
Hi, Sissy-in-law. We have a meeting at 7:30, so she was like, so I think he's
Request art hype.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for being timely.
I'm gonna wait for him to request. He has to request. I don't see him yet.
Oh, Dayo, can you request? Hey, Elide.
Elide.
Miriam, what about me? Hey, Deshaun. Hey. We are getting started. Dayo, did he send a request? You see it?
No? Nope. Not
okay.
There. Hey, Ade.
We are trying to get started. We are waiting for Charles. What's up? He requested, he said.
Can you do it one more time, Dayo, please? It didn't
I
come.
don't think it came through.
Not the
We are gonna
upside
get.
down smiley face.
You said what?
So not the upside down smiley face he put.
Die on his shade. I can't.
Oh, okay. Is it down here?
Oh, you got him?
I'm sorry. I don't know how to use IG Live. I see it.
Okay.
I see
All
it.
right, we got our first guest. Where is Miss Nife?
I just said,
Boomy, hey. Thanks, guys, for joining.
oh God. Okay.
We got the one and only. We got the one and only.
Why you shaking your head?
Because sis doesn't know how to use the IG live request. What is going on?
It's the
Oh
first
my
time for
God.
everything. This is the
Dayo,
first time.
please allow
Hi,
us.
Okay,
Demi.
you
Allow
know what?
us, please.
2022, we're allowing grace, mercy, energy. You're good with me.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
That's it. That's it.
That's
God bless
it.
you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you,
So we
Demi,
are
for
waiting.
joining. I know it's 1 a.m. in London, but you still came. Thank you.
The energy is great in here already.
Trust me, Dayo, and you're bringing you. I mean, it's a recipe for a good time.
Listen,
Cuz, what's up? Hey.
first and foremost, let me give some energy to the ladies in the space. You two look amazing. You are
Aw.
mothers,
Thank
you
you,
are married
Dayo.
women, and you look stunning. I
Oh,
think we
Thank
have to
you.
all men need to do is recognize and allow it.
Yeah,
That's all.
allow now, right?
That's all, man. I've,
Allow.
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this all week.
Good. I'm good because
oh,
I mean I feel like you have a lot to say and a lot to share, and so I want to make sure people get to tap in.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah, yeah. Do we know where Miss Nifa is?
I just sent her a text.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. So for those of you on, thank you guys for being on time. We appreciate Dayo being on time. You know, there's always one person who, but we're gonna allow her, right? Because she is
Yeah, we'll
with.
allow her. We'll
We're
allow
gonna allow her. We're gonna allow
her.
Grace, like you said, Dayo. You
Come
call her
on now.
Grace. We're
Key
gonna give it
money.
to her.
Yes.
We're gonna give it to her. What you sipping on? Some tea? I got tea.
It's actually a mocha. You know, when you're a father, a husband, a man, you get tired.
Oh my,
In fact, you know what's crazy, sis? You remember our parents?
Manda.
You know our parents would just come home and just like plop down and lay down and just really rest.
Yeah.
They're tired. They were tired.
they were.
Exactly.
And
Trust
we
me.
didn't record. We didn't record. She be like, Daddy, you can't play with me. Daddy, mommy, take me out. Like,
Just
It's too
looking at
much.
you like, what? Ouch. I'm sorry.
Exactly. Exactly.
Lala, you were on time. Thank you. We
She
appreciate
was. Namesake. That's what's up. There she is. Send a request to her.
Oh, we got some good
Got
people
her.
in here. What's up, Tip?
Tip.
it.
That's
Honey, you say
my best.
welcome. Welcome to the party, honey.
What up? What up? What up?
Thanks, Tip. Thank you.
Hi,
Appreciate
Nicole.
you.
Hey, can I encourage everyone in the audience to share your IG live right now to people who you may think need to see and witness this experience? Just
Come
share it.
on.
Shout out to these ladies. Let's give them some
Miguel.
energy. Let's tell the world about this channel and what's going on here. Just share it
Come
with your
on.
folks right now. Take a couple of
I
minutes
love
and do
it.
that right now. Yeah.
Dial. I love the energy. Come on now. I love it. I love it. Did you get the request?
No,
Memi,
he
you
hasn't
just.
sent it yet. Now I know how to do it. So,
Can you send requests? You can send requests though, right?
oh yeah, maybe I can. Um,
All right, we are going to get started as soon as Nifa.
no.
Thank you, Britt. Teeks. Aww. I love it. Thanks, guys, for support. And we're about to get this conversation
Okay.
started. We're just trying to get a request. Oh,
Oh,
and we lost one. We lost one. We're about to gain one, and we
Dr.
lost one.
where you at?
Dial, you just lost dial. So for
Nifa,
those of you guys in here, I'm just gonna
request.
go ahead. What'd you say?
Nifa saying no request. Nifa,
So
send me. Send
Nifa, send a request.
Elise sent the request. Elise, we need to have a special show just for you, or you ain't know.
Just for you. Nife, you send the request. So like when you
that is not here.
So leave out and then come back in and it'll say request to join. It'll say request.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what happens when you first.
Okay, learn something new.
I know, right? Only sorry. I mean,
hey,
I have to stretch a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna just kind of lay the foundation a little bit while we wait for Dayo. And okay, do you got Dayo?
It's back, yeah.
Okay.
Nifa, leave the chat
and come back in. All right. So I'm sorry, guys. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties, but I am going to at least share a little bit about Marriage Pinnacle while we wait for Nife to join. So Marriage Pinnacle is a platform that myself and Memi run. We try not to be the face of the platform. We really just want to pour out the content. That's what's really important to us. And so we are two people who have been married. Memi this year will be 10 years, me 8 years. And so we feel like we got a little bit of experience. However, we think it's really important to pour back in because we think the conversation is just so important. We know in the Black and Brown community how unfortunate sometimes marriage is not really the goal for some people, or people do get married and then they divorce. And so the numbers are super, super high. So we're just trying to do our part to kind of strengthen marriages in the Black and Brown community. That's really, really important to Memi and I. And so we started this platform, and from our page, we try to pour out content that's not based on just what we think, but kind of based on research, based on books, based on like we're trying to do our homework when we pour out content. So that's really, really important to us. And so Chats from the Peak is our live series that we're going to be doing periodically, where it'll be sometimes myself and Memi, but then also we're going to bring on guests that we think can pour into other people as well. And so before we get into that, and before we introduce our two guests for today, we decided our first Chats from the Peak was going to be about creatives. So if you don't know what a creative is, it's someone who uses pretty much their gifts, their talents to, it could be generate income, it could be to spread knowledge, it could be whatever it could be, to make people laugh, to make people feel a certain type of way. And we thought it was a really important conversation because we do see how widespread creatives are. Creatives are really in every space, right? They're in fashion, they're in tech, they're in media, they're in everything. And so we were able to pour into our village and reach out to two people that we have relationships with to join in on the conversation. And we told a lot of people about it, and we have a lot of creatives in the chat, and we really appreciate that. So the questions, the thumbs up, the engagement is super important to us. Memi, anything you want to throw in there before we introduce our guest?
I think you did a great job. I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. So happy to have you guys. Biggest shout out to Nife and Dayo for coming to talk to us. We appreciate you guys. This is our first live that we've hosted, so you guys are first in our live series. So we're so excited to have y'all. So
we're really excited.
It's amazing.
Great. So we can just jump into it. We wanted you to introduce yourselves first and kind of, tell us about yourselves. What do you do? Tell us about your family. You could tell us how long you've been married, and just let us get.
Well, I want to start us off. I'm gonna let Dayo kick us off, but before we get started, I'm just gonna say a little bit about Dayo. I have known Dayo for maybe 15 years or so. He is called the Art Hype. He's going to give his own spiel. He's going to, he's going to read off his accolades and all of that good stuff. But just on a personal level, Dayo is energy and vibes combined. So when you think of Art Hype, and it's just all of that in one, Dayo is a creative. He's a father. He's in media. He brings energy. Any space I have been with Dayo has been nothing but vibes. And I just thought he was the perfect person to join our live because he uses his, I think, God-given talents to kind of spread light to the world, in my opinion. And we lost Dayo.
I was trying to sorry, I think he froze.
He
He
froze.
might
Okay.
be out, and he might.
So, okay, that just means we're going to be flexible and you're going to hype up Nife, and then Nife
You
will
know,
give her spiel first.
you know that's easy.
Come on.
Come on, hype me up, man.
Nifa is my
Hype me up,
baby
girl.
sis. I was one of her first friends when she got off the boat. Sorry, just kidding.
Literally.
But when she first got to
literally
America,
you were.
I was like pretty much
99.
It's 99. We've been riding thick and thick. Went to high school together for a couple years there. So Nifa is like my baby sis, and so I love her to death. And Nifa has been one of those, like, people might not give her flowers, but she's a real pioneer in the influencer space. Nifa has been posting and giving us looks since 2006? 2008. So she's been doing this for a while. She started off on MySpace, then she went to Blogger. So
the Blogspot.
To Blogspot. So she's been bouncing around, and the thing I love the most about Nifa is she's been so flexible. Like when we go from Blogger, she's going to Facebook. Then after Facebook, she's going to IG. After IG, she's on to the next thing. She's on YouTube. So she's been so flexible with her brand, and she knows how to sort of meld and move between the spaces. And she's going to tell us today it's not always been a cakewalk. Like there are times when she gets really stuck and she doesn't even know what the next way. All these new girls come in, they try to take over. She don't know where
they are taking over.
She's trying to find her spot. So we're going to talk about that today. But yeah, Nifa has been doing this for a minute.
Nife, give your spiel, and then we'll switch back to Dayo. So go ahead, Nife. Introduce yourself. Let people know who you are.
I think Memi already said it all. My name is Nife Akingbe. Obviously, I'm Nigerian. I'm married. My husband's name is Olu. We just celebrated our 6 years wedding anniversary. And before they were dating for like 7-8 years. So Olga and I, we've been in each other's life for a very long time. I have a toddler daughter that's 4. She's gonna be 5 this year, and I'm currently expecting. I don't know if y'all can see, but sorry for being a little late today. Maybe can testify today.
We gave you grace,
today
girl.
has been a very rough, very emotional day, but I'm glad to be here. And sorry about the angle. I'm having issues with my ring light, but that's it. I'm a content creator, and I also work in retail. I'm a store manager, and yeah, I've been, like Memi said, I've been doing this for a long time. It comes with many challenges, but I'm sure we'll dive into that later. So I'm gonna let Lara go back to hype Dayo up.
Yeah, sorry guys.
But I'm happy to be here. Like Mary, thanks for having me. You guys know how much I love what you guys are doing, promoting Black love and just blah, blah. I'm gonna let you talk now, Lara.
Thank you. All right, Dayo, back to you. I done hyped you. I don't know if you heard it all, but I definitely hyped you.
I mean, it's okay, sis. I heard nothing actually. I'm like, what is?
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Okay. It's not by force. We're here. It's okay. It's okay. I know you do, sis. I appreciate you.
Come on now, I hyped you. So all I did was I told people that basically that you combined your energy and I feel like you're a gift, and that just creates you is what I said. And I just feel like whatever space you and you occupy it, which I thought was which was one of the reasons I felt like really, really called to have you on our platform. And so I want you to kind of introduce yourself, let the people know who you are. And I know somebody asked for us to to pin you guys'
That'd be great.
IGs there. We will do that as well. So
Much love.
Go ahead.
First of all, ladies, greetings and salutations. Thank you for allowing me into this space. As I see it, I'm surrounded by beautiful Black Nigerian queens. But I feel special and honored to be a man amongst you guys. Years ago, I talked with a friend about spaces like this where we kind of hold conversations and hold dialogue, but not everybody's at the table. So I believe, especially when it comes to these marriages, how, our uncles and aunties at these functions, the men will just go there and the women would just go there. And I see traces of it now, but what I do love to see is when we're all in the circle talking our shit, being transparent, and really breaking down these walls of trauma or whatever it is we've dealt with, coming from these homes where our parents didn't deal with their shit. So we are here to keep it real. My name is Dayo. I'm really happy to be here. I love you, Lara. I think, the way you asked me if I wanted to be on this show was as if I was going to say no. and I told you like, yo, bro, that's crazy. Like, what do you think? Of course I'm gonna be on there. And in fact, I'm honored. So really glad to have this conversation.
Thank you.
Much love to you. With you expecting my sister down there. Take your time. We would have waited another 30 minutes. So you're good.
You're good.
What a
All
gentleman.
right.
Thank you so much.
You would have got okay.
All right, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it. So, Dayo, I'm gonna start with you. So, being a creative, we kind of lay the platform, and you can actually speak to what you feel like a creative is to you. But how did you, when you met Tasha? So you're obviously a married man. You have 2 kids. You have 2 beautiful boys, and so you were already in the creative space before you met Tasha, right? So could you tell the
Yeah.
people, are you in full-time entrepreneurship, and
Yeah.
what was that like? How did you introduce and explain that to Tasha when you guys
Right.
decided that you were going to be married? Like, okay, this is
Right.
what I do. It's
Great.
not going to be, it's not a 9 to 5. It's not steady. It's not every 2 weeks I'm getting a paycheck. It could be really, really good months. It could be really, really difficult months. What was that conversation like?
Right. That's such a great question. Lara, one of the most intriguing things, I think in my situation was, I come from a family of physicians. I was actually pre-med going into school, and I finished with my degree in psychology. I have my master's degree, and I was working in the educational system for some time. When I started dating my wife and talking to my wife, I was associate director of admissions at the Kogod School of Business at American University. I was pursuing my passion on the side. I had always taken pictures since coming back from Nebraska, where I went to college. Coming back to my home community, the business only grew with the amount of networking and connection. But it was a side thing that had potential to be a great thing. So the most intriguing thing for me was, literally just taking that leap. I was at my desk at American. Nike called me for a job opportunity. It was during the week when I knew I was going to be doing some big recruiting in Pennsylvania, and I couldn't go. I couldn't do it, And I talked to my wife. I said, at the
Mhm.
time she wasn't my wife. Excuse me, we were engaged. We were engaged, and I literally one of the biggest conversations we had was going into this marriage. I have an opportunity, babe. I think that can really work. I think it can really provide for us, and I think it will give us a lifestyle that's different than the average person, whatever they have to deal with. And of course, she had to be on the board with that. I mean, this was me going into my marriage, like going into getting married in 2015. Of course, I made the best decision of my life that year, which was marrying her. See, I thought I was about to say going, going full time, but go,
Definitely
go,
did. You did.
Go ahead,
but
sis.
going full time was amazing for me at that time, right?
Mhm.
I always tell young creatives, and you asked the question earlier, what's a creative? A creative is everybody, all of you. Everyone has a gift. Everyone is creative. It's only those that pursue their passions in a purposeful way. Those are the people that get that identification as, oh, they're creative. Oh, they do this. We all have inherently something that we're really talented in. It's whether or not someone now
Mhm.
says, oh, you're good at that. You can do that. Do that. When you get that energy, you can now start doing that thing. But my wife said, yo, let's do this. And I went full time. The opportunities kept pouring in. My network kept growing. There's one thing about this creative space. You do good work and you be a good person, and you'll be good forever, because the referral energy is, I rocked with this person, they did something well, they'll do something good for you. And once again, it's just kudos to my wife. I don't know how I could do this with anyone else. You know what I mean? It takes a really specific person to be able to say, I'm doing this type of life with you. And there's one thing I have to correct you on, Lara, because people always say, oh, how do you do this thing? It's not steady, it's not uncertain. I believe there's an element of that, but I think if you want to be a creative for your life, you better find that steady. You better find that constant, because
Mhm.
there's no chance
I
or
love that.
risk for failure when you have children involved, right? There's no,
That's
oh,
right.
something is gonna happen. I'm waiting on this. There's none of that nonsense. It's, yo, I have this going on that's always gonna be there, and I'm pursuing other
That's right.
things that's gonna be even better. So that's
That's
a
right.
quick gist of my story. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Nife,
I hope
can
I
I throw
didn't.
that to
I
you?
hope I didn't ramble too long.
No, no. I think that
No,
No,
was
you're fine. I'm like, I don't got nothing else to say now.
Nife,
um,
please.
I mean, the man been preaching. So what's the question again, please?
yeah.
So the question is basically, so you've been in this space since 2008, right? And so you said you've been dating Olu. So that means Olu has been kind of by your side in this as well. So what was your kind of journey like, saying that this is something I want to do, if it be it full time, something I love, something that I want to step into? What was that conversation like with Olu?
Okay, so we never really had a conversation because by the time Olu and I met, I believe I was already blogging. And then it was called blogging. Now it's called content creation or whatever you want to call it. And then it was just like a hobby, kind of like an online diary showing my personal style. And I never thought about money or anything like that. It was just like a side gig that I loved. So Olu met me doing this and he's always been supportive. Even when we're dating, there are times where I'm like, your birthday's coming up, got to do photo shoot for my blog. And he doesn't really like stuff like that. There are many things that he does just to help me, just to help my brand and to make sure I'm happy and just trying to make it work. And what happened, I've always had a job. I've always been in retail. We got married. I was still doing retail. And it was tough. It was really, really tough. Taking pictures, working full time, and being married. And at that time, I went through like a cloudy moment because I was changing. Because my name used to be Skinny Hipster. And I just felt like I was
Mm.
not Skinny Hipster anymore. And I had to rebrand, but I still held on to that
Mm.
name for like 3 more years because I felt like that was what my followers were used to and that was what people wanted from me. So I was so confused. But anyway, so I was in that space and I got pregnant with my daughter and my company closed. Like my company closed during like my first trimester. And I had to talk with Ola. I was just like, I think I can really make this thing work. And one thing
Come
about
on.
Olu is this, he's very supportive. He really is. Like God bless that man. His thing is always this though.
Yes.
What is your plan? As long as you have a plan. And I'm one of those people, I don't know, like I like to go with the flow. Like as the spirit leads. And
Yes.
always
Come
like,
on.
like what
Yes.
are your plans? So
Yeah,
he's always been
yeah,
supportive. And I
yeah.
stayed home. And even then, people still were not really making money. Maybe like the white bloggers, the really, really popular ones. And we
Mm-hmm.
gave it a go and it worked out for a little bit. I wish my story was Dayo's story. That's not my story. It worked out for a little bit. I had someone helping me out. I was getting gigs, being paid, all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
after a while, it got dry.
Okay.
It
And
became more
hold that. Yeah,
competitive.
hold that because we're
So,
going to get to that. Yeah,
okay.
but go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Okay. So, all right. So I guess I won't get into that yet, but Ola has always been supportive. That's what I can say. Even
Yeah.
one of my friends used to take my pictures, and shout out to Femi Chanel Powashin. This man used to take my he took my pictures for years. He was a
Hey.
wedding photographer, and after I
Mm-hmm.
got married, like by this time, his family was here. He had like 2 kids, so he couldn't really do help as much as he used to. Olu took the initiative, like it took it upon himself to learn how to take pictures. So Femi showed
Come on
him,
now.
and Olu was
Yeah.
my photographer, and we used to fight. We used to fight all the time, like doing the photo shoots. I was just like, so why did you volunteer? Like we're literally after taking pictures, and that's the thing. Every time I see creatives working with their significant others, I'm like, how? How
Yeah.
did y'all do this? Because I would love to do. First of all, I'm like the business person in the family. Olu always says this. Like whenever I'm broke, I'm like, Olu, we really got to do something. He's like, but you're the business one. Think about something. But
Mm-hmm.
Right.
so he would take my pictures. Like he would literally take my pictures. I'll show him what I want, and by the end of the shoot, we'll be beefing literally every time. And Olu's not really a confrontational person. Like he's really chill. And
Oh my
I speak
God.
my mind, so I'll be then like, no, this is not what I want. So we'll get home. We'll literally go our separate ways. Like he will go
Yeah.
upstairs, and I'll stay downstairs, and we'll cool things off. But what I'm just trying to say is this: Olu has always been supportive, even
That's
now.
good.
But his thing is always communication. What
Mm-hmm.
is their plan? What are your goals? And
Yeah.
I think that's very, very important. If you have a partner and you're trying to do this full time, part time, whatever, you don't have to. This doesn't have to be part time. I know people who make really good money. Like it's never like, oh, they're making 20. Like they make really good money from their 9 to 5, and they're doing it, being content creators. So at the end of the day, you can do it all. It's whatever you want to do, but
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very important for you to communicate. And like you said, not everybody is down for this. It's not steady checks. I don't care what nobody says. It's never steady. Even the
Mm-hmm.
people that are on top that have because I'm in certain groups, there are times where it's low, where it's slow. And that's why you have to be smart with your money, which is something I'm still learning. I'm not there yet, but I'm learning,
Come
I'm getting
on.
better. You got to be smart
Mhm.
with your money. You can't be spending everything. Also, you got to invest in your
Yes.
craft. That's a
Girl,
Yes.
okay, we're gonna
girl.
get to another question first.
Come on.
Nifa, you
Come
about
No,
to
on,
I'm talking
girl.
to
Let's
myself. My
go.
bad,
you
Fletcher.
Let her go.
My bad, my bad,
No, we
my
need to
bad,
get to the next
Diana. My bad,
question.
Diana, because
Yo.
Diana been speaking in tongues all
Not.
day.
No, but I think what you guys are so important for
Yo.
like creators that are listening.
What
So
you say, baby?
Yo.
I said for all of our creators that are listening on the live with us, like all the stuff you guys are
Oh,
telling us.
it's not like, let's be real. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the person that can
Yeah.
attest to this, Memi can attest to this.
Yeah.
Because I don't share. Maybe it's one of the few people that I can be vulnerable with, and I can share. There are times where I'm crying, and when I say crying, y'all can call Olu right now. Even this year, even today, there are times where I'm crying, trying to figure it out. I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest. I'm going to be real with you guys. I still don't even have it figured out yet. Because
Come
even
on.
right now, maybe because I'm pregnant, I'm hormonal, I'm going through another series of change.
Come
like,
on.
For
Come
sure.
on.
like last time,
You're
maybe
gonna
was
be
trying
so
to
different
encourage
when
me.
baby come. Watch.
Yeah,
There's
last
nothing.
time maybe was trying to encourage me. So it's not easy. I don't care what nobody tell y'all. People work hard. And they
Yeah.
always say
It's
there's
not.
no overnight success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People have been doing this for a long time, and oftentimes people don't give y'all the real tea. They do
Yeah.
pitching, they do many things, they struggle. There are
Yeah.
people who
I
don't.
think. I
It's a
think.
lot.
I think there needs to be more transparency in the creative space. Um, I try to show myself being like if I'm on a gig somewhere, it's high level. I'm doing something in New York. I'm doing something for a brand. I want people to see that shit so they can know, okay, I can do that too. But I don't always want to show this extravagance.
Yeah.
Especially already as Africans, we're very extravagant.
Yeah.
Because we love the energy. We have it naturally. We're proud people. But I also want to talk about times of, okay, shit's down right now. Shit's bad right now. I need to be more transparent with that as an artist because this shit is not easy. Sis said it
Yeah.
right now. We live in a microwave society, right? Nobody
Yep.
knows the amount of horrible shoots I've done, the amount of bad business I've done, the amount of failure I've done, where you're at a point where you can be sullied in your business and your brand. You have to come back. Let's not talk about what happened over quarantine, right?
Oh.
Quick story. So my birthday's in March. The last thing I do, March 8th, 2020, I go out. I'm at Bukum Cafe, my uncle's restaurant. We're just enjoying. 2 days later, or 3 days later, I'm supposed to have a shoot with Wild 'N Out in Baltimore. I'm supposed to be their lead photographer for their big show. The next day, everything shut down. Everything shut down. Everything I had
Wow.
lined up for the next 3 months shut
Wow.
down. That's
Wow.
when you really realize, do you have what it takes? Or,
Yeah.
my friend says this, you can have the spine for things, you can have the heart for things, but do you have the stomach? Do you have the gut for when things are bad and you're hurting and you're twisting? And
Yeah.
I always take that to heart because that's a moment where you're really going to find yourself. It's not easy, sis. They think it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Um,
agree. Yeah. So, so I think that leads to another question. So I think that both of you kind of talked about like support and having spouses who have been like kind of like your ride or dies. But what are some things that you communicate to them that you need? So I need this from you in order to be successful. I need this in order, what is the, like, so one thing that we talk about, and if we look at our page, we talk about like healthy ways to communicate. Obviously when things are bad, that's probably not the best time to have a conversation. However, when you like need specific support or you need certain things from your husband or your wife, what are some of the things that you communicate to them? Dio, you can take it.
I'm like, come on, Daya.
Yeah,
Come on. I know you got something to
yeah, I
say,
got
bro.
you. I got you. Like you ladies know, this whole marriage thing is a learning process in general. The fact that we're all talking about numbers of 8 years, 7 years, 10 years is actually a blessing, and we should celebrate every year because we know
Yeah.
people who haven't made it to that year, right?
Yeah.
So they're the age-old things of communication. Now, as an artist, sometimes our minds are always just drifting, thinking of ideas. We're dreamers. And just like my sister down there said, she flows like the water. She's moving. That's how I am as well. But I had to learn very quickly this communication thing has to be to another level. In fact, I'm still learning, right? So additionally, I'm a man. You know, I'm a man in an industry, in an art industry that surrounds himself with a lot of people. My wife is the most confident person I've ever met. She doesn't realize it, but I say anybody who's with me is very confident because she's never tried to change me. She's never tried to, you know, adjust who I am. She's flowed with who I am and understand who I am, and that's allowed me to flourish, right? So that
Yeah.
trust in the artist space or in the relationship space is probably our strongest dynamic. It's something that we hold really close, that trust. So it's not something you want to break. You know, that transparency has to be real. Me, self, I wasn't a calendar guy. I mean, I came from a corporate world where we're on the calendar all the time. Outlook this, call this, that, you know, so when you have more freedom, you start to move as if you're free. There's somebody you have to report to at all times, be it God or be it your partner. So in this case, is my partner. So me having the ability to use my calendar and say, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm going. Baby, is it on the calendar? Where are we going? That energy had really been, you know, that's what it's really been very helpful. But also just knowing sometimes when I get home, yo, I love you. We're gonna hang out eventually because you're my friend. I want to spend some time with you, but I need about an
I
Yeah.
hour. I might need like an hour
thought,
just to myself. Go ahead.
no, I said I saw you on a date
Oh,
night.
I just mean, come on, listen, sister. So now that you brought that up, let me say this as well. So 2020, 2021, it's been rough for couples. It's been rough for
Yeah.
couples with children. It's been, you know, mind
Extremely
blowing.
rough.
Insane. Yeah.
So we made it a point that this year we were going to go on a date once a week. We'll have our date night. We'll secure whatever the children need to
Once a
do.
week.
It's listen, that's where moving with purpose, you know, became intentional. Because I really
Uh-huh.
look at how much time am I doing XYZ. If I can't segment amount and schedule time like I schedule out time to work with clients, what am I
Uh-huh.
doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That equally yoke shit is not just for within my relationship, it's within my business and my home. You know what I mean?
That's
There's
right.
a reason why when people see me, yo, Dayo, I can't believe you're here. I'm here because you don't see what you when you don't see me, I'm at home, my G.
That's
I'm at
right.
home holding it down. So, you know, people have to understand that equal give and take. But
That's right.
yeah, so you on a date night, Memi? Holla, you know
I
what I'm
know.
saying?
I'm not at once a week though. We once a
I'm
month.
like,
Once a week,
once
that's a
a
But
week?
blessing. That's a
Hey,
not
blessing.
listen,
once
y'all,
a
hold on,
month.
hold on, hold
Dayo
on, hold
out
on.
here
Keyword,
stunting.
relax. Keyword, try for once a week. Try, try.
No, but what you said, you made a very good point. That if you can make time for everything else, what is once a week to spend with
Hmm.
your spouse? Like it's funny that you said because I never thought about it. Like when we say once a month,
Oh no.
once a month is great, you
Hmm.
know. But
Yeah.
that once a you made a very good
But
point.
but the but the purpose of it, right? Everything we're doing was around the kids. Like everything. We're trying to plan the
Yeah.
kids are there. We're trying to maneuver the kids are there. On our date nights, it's not just for enjoyment. We go out there and we talked about this a little bit before. We talk about finances. We talk about what are
We're
we
gonna
gonna
get
do
into
next?
that.
What
We're
is
gonna get into that.
what
Hmm.
okay, my bad. Let me stop there. So we'll stop there. Please continue, my sister.
I was like, that's on the list.
That's on the list. So yeah, Nife to you. So what are some things that you communicate to Olu in regards to what you need? So just reminding people. So you're in a space where you're still a creative, you're still walking in your purpose, you're still doing things that you love. However, you are working a 9 to 5. So can you
Damn,
tell
nine
what,
to
and then
five.
also in juggling a child and a child on the way. So what is that dynamic like, and what are some things that you communicate to Olu in regards to support?
So first of all, I don't work 9 to 5. I work in retail. So
I
it
meant
means
I meant like a traditional job.
no,
That's what
I
I
get
meant.
what you're saying. I'm just saying that 9 to 5, at least you have like a steady schedule. So
Right.
it's even tougher in retail because it's literally Monday through Saturday. Obviously, I'm off twice a week. But anyway, so with me, I feel like the big shift came after I had my baby. I think that was because before it was just us could do whatever, blah blah blah. But after I had Eva, I was like a stay-at-home wife pretty much for like almost 4 years. So it was that, and it's like when you work from home and you're creating content, people see you, at least in the African community, people just assume that you're not really doing much. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's just like it's just like an assumption.
Hmm.
But when I say I became burnt out, And I'm one of those people, I don't really like asking for help. I like to do things on my own. I used to like ask Memi and stuff, like people were like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I love cooking, so I used to cook all the time. Like our meals were fresh, like 90% of the time. One day Memi was like, "So you're a full-time cook, you're a full-time influencer, you're a full-time mom,
Literally every
you're a
day.
full-time husband," because I would do these things and I would get so burnt out without asking for help. Like always, they're always willing to help. I'm like, I got it, I'm good. And I also felt, and to me, I think I also felt like Ola's not really providing like financially, so he's doing his part. Let me do my part. But
We can
We
get
can hear you.
muted.
Oh, you're muted now.
Oh man.
I thought it was my.
can y'all hear me?
We're
Sorry,
okay,
somebody was
girl.
calling.
We're
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Go
Okay,
ahead, girl. You good?
so
on the end.
so it took like an emotional toll on me. But after a while, when I realized I was killing myself, I had to communicate. And because what I was doing was not the traditional job, anybody that knows my husband knows he does not play when it comes to me. But even there were certain things that he did not understand that I had to communicate several times. Because think about it, he's looking at it this way. He's at work. He's literally working all day. He's tired. He's stressed out. He's used to coming home, having the food ready, maybe play with Ire for like 30 minutes, and then it's her bedtime. But from my perspective, I'm home all day. I'm with this child. I'm making her breakfast, lunch, dinner. I have to entertain her. I have to create content. In between this, I'm doing videos. I'm doing all this. And I think during the pandemic, he saw more. He got a glimpse of what I was like my day-to-day life because he was working from home. But again, I had to speak up. I had to communicate. And I wish it was one of those things that's like, oh, I spoke once and he got it. No. Sometimes it took some arguments, but we got there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my thing was,
Yes.
I like when I communicate, and oftentimes, thank God, the person I'm with, Olu, is very understanding. He really is. And when he's not sure, he will ask.
Yeah.
Like there's some things he asked me that I think is ridiculous, and I'm like, what do you mean? do you know what I mean? Should I start listing one day I asked him, I was like, do you know what role I play in this house? He was like, of course I do. And then when he listed them, I said, oh, so you do know. Okay, that's good to know. But what I'm just trying to say is just communicating, because that was my issue. Like I was not really good at communicating. I'm one of those people that I'm one of those common sense people. Like you have common sense. You love me, you should understand. You know I'm over here sweating balls. You should get it. But
Yo,
no,
when's your
all these other people that
birthday? When's your
obviously
birthday?
what you say?
When's your birthday? When's your
I don't
birthday?
believe in all that.
Don't
I'm
believe
just
in
a
that
child of God.
right now.
Okay. I don't.
But you know what? To be
Come
honest,
on.
wait. So okay, so I think there's some things that I want to highlight though, because you talked
Okay.
about, you should get it, you should understand. And so some things that myself and Memi talk about when we're thinking about like what to post next and things when we're trying to highlight different themes is that as much as you think your partner or your spouse or your friend, because one thing about Marriage Pinnacle, yes, we are catered to marriages, but we feel like our content really transcends all types of relationships. So friendships, sibling relationships, marriages, partners, people who are engaged, whatever the case may be. We talked about, just because I expect you to know what I'm thinking doesn't mean that that's technically what the case is, right?
Yeah.
So it's better to actually speak from a point of this is how I feel, or this is what you're doing is affecting me in this way, instead of just assuming that the person should know what you're going through or should know how you're feeling, because really only you can understand how you're feeling, right?
Come
Only
on.
you
Come
can
on.
know what's going on internally, and then only you know your level of burnout, right? So for some women, some men, cooking, cleaning, all of those things are gifts to them and they love it and they enjoy it, but to others not so much, right?
Yeah.
And so if you don't
Yeah.
verbalize how those things are affecting you, then you can't assume that your spouse or your friend or whoever is a mind reader. You can't. So I just wanted to make sure, I wanted to bring up that point.
Come on,
But
Lara. Come
come on
on.
now.
Yo,
That's
that
her
you should be
word.
an MC.
Come
Y'all,
on now.
Yo,
should MC
listen.
together
Yo,
sometime.
listen. You know what's crazy about what you said? There's a big thing that we had to figure out in my marriage, and I don't know how it is for you guys, but I would love to hear. This whole, and I'm a Nigerian man. I'm a Nigerian man raised by Nigerians. Listen, there was this aspect of gender roles, right? This
Mm-hmm.
ideology of gender roles. Of course, there's some things that we hold on to, but the true essence is making whatever works for your marriage in your marriage. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? That
Absolutely.
that being able to shift and move with if I like to do laundry, if I'm the one that likes to just do laundry, let me just go and do it. I like to
Just
do it.
do it.
I'm not waiting. I don't have
Exactly.
to wait. You know what I mean? Oh, well, that's her thing. This, that gender role thing. So thank you for
Absolutely.
that comment. Yeah, we
Yeah.
all do different things. We all have different roles. It's up
Absolutely.
to y'all to decide whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I,
And
and
what
I
worked for your marriage?
And I
Go
think
ahead,
you
man.
made a good point, because even with just what me and Lara do, like we have long night, like we could
Mm-hmm.
be on a meet until 2 a.m. And
Yeah.
we have lock-ins, like where she'll come over or I'll go over and we'll just be working all day
Yeah.
putting out content. So it's like in those situations, like we have to let our husbands know, like, hey guys,
Absolutely.
we need your support. Like I need you to put the kids to bed tonight. Me and Lara
Yeah.
are having a meeting, or
Yeah.
I need you to watch the, like Lara tell Tala, you need to watch the kids today, or you need to pick up Levi
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to be at Memi's house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we can't just get up and leave and expect them to just understand why we're not home, or
Right.
that why we're gone, or like it has to be. I feel like that's the important part. Like I know one of the young ladies, she's a creative and she's not married or anything, but she was like she's looking forward to this live, because she wants to know, like, what do I look for, or what are some of the things that I should be looking for in a partner. And I feel like what you guys are basically saying is that you need somebody that trusts you, right? That trusts you and trusts your passion,
Yeah.
and is able to make room for that passion. So it's
Absolutely.
nothing for them to understand that, okay, Dayo's going to be off shooting a campaign, I need to step it up. Or
Mm-hmm.
that Nife is going to be
Mm.
out doing a photo shoot, taking pictures, I need to
Yeah.
step it up. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
even in Nife's role, like when she was doing stay-at-home wife slash businesswoman,
Slash cook,
like
slash this, slash that.
slash everything,
Come
you know what I'm
on.
saying? Like
Slash,
all that
slash,
stuff,
slash.
it 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 presses down. So you have to be
Yeah.
able to. And Nife's right. Like she's the kind, like he should know what I'm thinking. And it's always like, no, nobody knows,
Nobody
men
knows.
or women, nobody knows what you're thinking. Like, so
Yeah.
you just holding that stuff in, you're really just giving yourself high blood pressure,
Yeah.
because you're
Because
sitting there
he's
mad.
walking, smiling. I'm like, what is so funny?
You're like, why are you
Why are
laughing?
you smiling? You
Yeah.
also be crying over here.
No, they don't. They can't. So
Yeah.
it's like,
And I think that just
Listen,
goes back, me,
listen.
I'm always going to throw mental health in. I'm always going to throw mental health in because I think that,
Mm,
when we
mm.
hear these, these conversations, these unfortunate conversations about, oh, this person committed suicide, or this person did this, or a person walked into a
God
building and
forbid.
did X, Y, and Z, it's because of these type
Hey,
of things. And I think that, again, our generation, I feel like, especially with COVID, we really opened up. And I'm not going to say it's not as taboo. It's still taboo, but I feel like there's been a lot more transparency and vulnerability in going to therapy, seeking help, saying when you're not okay. But I do think that that's something we need to push more, because there are so many people that we hear the conversation like, but we thought they were fine, or they seem like they have it all together. And nobody knows, because again, we're a generation where we put our best foot forward. We're putting the highlight reel out there. We're putting the pictures that look the best, instead of like really talking about when things aren't that great, So
but
just always cutting mental health in there. So
listen.
that's a great point. Go ahead, Dad.
It's, yeah, quick thing. Laura, ladies, you guys are killing this. I'm enjoying this conversation so much.
Oh,
I feel like, you talk about this mental health thing, right? We literally lived a shared human experience in this COVID thing. It's a moment where
absolutely.
like all of humanity, has now understood, okay, this is that, this is that, this is that. One thing that's really intriguing to me is that, our children who are going to come out of this, the amount of
Hmm.
grace and connection that we're going to have to really, import and pour into them, and really allow them to connect with other people. Like, we're going to have to, because we grew up in a tribe, man. I'm talking to ladies who I grew up with, or I saw you guys at parties when we were younger, when we're talking about little Africa over here in the DMV. So that whole "it takes a village" vibe, we really got to take to a next level. You know what I mean? It gives me so much
Hmm.
respect for our parents, you guys. In
Yeah.
the mental health and things that they dealt with that we can't even fathom, with no resources, just out here,
Yeah.
nothing but each other, out here
Yeah.
trying to get an education and feed these damn little ashy ass kids. Like, the game is crazy. Like, so I always give credit
Not
and love to
ashy.
them. But I'll speak for myself. Your boy got ashy sometimes in the winter, man. You
Wait,
know,
so
she
that
just
you're
dab
a
on all.
photographer slash comedian?
Stop
He's a
it. Leave
comedian
that
too.
in.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Listen, no. I just keep it real. That's all. I just keep it real. But this whole mental health thing, we there's a lot we have to unpack, and I don't think
Mm-hmm.
our parents have unpacked their own trauma, and a lot of it has passed down, and there's generational curses. There's all types of stuff going around. We have to give space not only for our own healing, but the healing of those above us as well. That would be beautiful. That's something I
Yeah,
really would love to see.
yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna switch gears a little bit. Mems is not on camera, so I guess I'll go into finances. So the next conversation, we kind of wanted to switch gears and go into finances. So like we talked about, um, Dio, you said that even though it might not be steady, but you know that something's coming next, right? But
Oh,
what? So my question is, how do you navigate? And maybe I'll start with Nifa actually. How do you
No,
navigate, or
I
how
like
did
that
you?
when you start with Dio.
Dio,
let her roll off of
Nifa, you
me.
can
She's
start. It's
feeling the
okay.
vibe,
Put
man.
put your
Let
put
her
your big
vibe,
girl
yo.
put your
She's
big girl
vibing.
pants on and you start.
I guess.
So talk about, and I
Yeah.
guess for you, this is actually, I wanted to circle back to the conversation you said that, things got hard. I had to, go back to, retail or whatever the case may be. What were those conversations like when you felt like money wasn't coming in as much as you needed it to, or the ads or whatever, the campaigns, the sponsors weren't coming in as much as they needed to? What was that conversation and what was that transition back for you? Did you feel like, how did you feel knowing that maybe I couldn't do this full time and I had to, pick back up in retail or whatever the case may be? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, it was a lot of crying,
Okay.
a lot of confusion,
Okay.
because initially I was being picky, and Memi will always say this is an expensive hobby, because we say this is a hobby, right? Okay, well, it's a job,
Wow.
but it's expensive because
Mm,
I'm doing fashion.
yeah.
And I feel like when you're really, really into fashion, your taste increases. That's just the fact. It's not even
Look
anybody that knows me
at see
personally.
her robe. See the robe she's wearing.
Oh, please, Mary,
Hey,
please,
robe
don't
drop.
even, no.
Looking like Joseph
Black owned, that's all that
Technicolor
matters.
robe.
I want to roll with it. Yeah.
All that matters is that it's black owned. Don't listen to
Come on
Mary.
now. Come on now.
But I have, if you really like fashion, like I was saying, eventually your taste will keep increasing. And
Mm,
trust me, I'm not anybody that personally knows me. I'm not one to do it for the gram. I've passed that phase a long time in my life. But don't get me wrong.
Come
Sometimes
on.
you don't even know, because you're seeing all this creative. They're wearing Prada, they're wearing Gucci, they're wearing. After a while, you start to think like, wait, do they have two heads? It's just like sometimes you just find yourself comparing without even knowing.
yeah.
Because sometimes I've been
Yeah.
talking to different
Yes.
people like, you're comparing. I said, but I'm not. I'm happy for this. I'm not saying you're sad for them, but people have different journeys. So I have to
Mhm.
constantly remind myself. And it was just pretty much, it was a lot for me.
Mhm.
My savings was running dry. That was just the fact.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
My husband pretty much only took care of everything, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I had to be realistic. After a while, I could not afford it anymore. That is just the facts. I
Mhm.
cannot afford it
Yeah.
anymore. And also, although I love my husband dearly, and trust me, if Olu was a billionaire today, I wouldn't even work anymore. I'll just be sitting down taking pictures. But I still like to work. I don't know if that makes sense. I
Mhm.
still like to earn an income. I
Yeah.
still like to do my
Yeah.
own thing. I don't want to I don't want to tell you everything I'm about to buy because I need money. Let me do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I went back. I went after I started looking for jobs.
Mhm.
It was so I was almost at my lowest. So I stopped
Mhm.
posting like I used to. I stopped taking pictures because I was just like, I feel like I'm being fake. Why am
Mm.
I still posting pictures in this Gucci show
Yeah.
and this and that? I went mentally, I wasn't even there anymore. It was becoming
Wow.
draining. I was
Mhm.
not even I don't know. I was not really encouraged to continue doing it anymore because I wasn't making money, and I saw people making, and it was not constant. Like I'll make money here and there, but you
Yeah.
see all these people talking about that writing that book today, how I made 100K, how I made 250K, and I used to believe all those things, and they're not all lies. But man was like, they're lying. It doesn't even add up. She's making 250K. Look at it. But even if they are, my thing is this. people have different journeys. So at first, I'm not going to lie, I felt a little bit embarrassed. Like, okay, I've been doing this stay-at-home thing for like 2-3 years. I've been blogging for a long time. Now I have to go back and work the traditional job. I was just like, I don't know. I thought about it for a second. Like, I wonder what people would say. But after a while, when I was at my lowest, I didn't care what anybody said. I started applying everywhere. Like when I said literally, one day my sister was, I'm so proud of you because I'm shocked you're applying at these places because I needed money.
Yeah.
When you have kids, you get realistic. It's not about what people, I don't care about things like that. I don't care how you perceive me. As long as I'm happy, my husband is good and my child is good.
Come on.
So I had to make
Yeah.
that decision. So I had the conversation with Olu because he had tried to tell me a few times, but he didn't want to step on my toes or seem like maybe he was not understanding. But it was like, I think you should. And he also even gave different suggestions of, he was like, I think you'd be good at this, and that. And I also, some of my close friends, I was like, hey, I'm looking for a job. If you know anything, let me know. So I started applying. Yeah. And I also went back to school because I needed like a few more classes to get my associate's degree. I still need to go back for math to finish, but I'm not there yet. That's a story for maybe the next live we do in 5 years. I'll tell you how I got my degree by the grace of God. So anyway, so I did all those things quietly. Okay, less than 5 years by God's grace. But I did all those things quietly. Like most of my friends don't even know. So I was just like, I had to get realistic. What is the plan? What is the goal? And like I said, that's all this Olu's thing. Communication and what are your plans? So I just like, you know what? Let me focus on school and let me finish. Yeah. And so that can even open more doors. So when I start applying for jobs. So it was not easy. It was so tough. It was so tough. Now I understand when they're always saying, if you're here and you're not married and you're not done and you think about going, please go back. It was not easy. It really wasn't. But thank God with family, friends, and God, I finished. But anyways, and I started applying for jobs. Then I went back to retail. Yeah. And it was always one of those things that, like, Memi always, I keep saying Memi because Memi knows all these things. She really does. She's not the only one, but she's one of the really few people. She's like, there's nothing wrong with going back. This can literally fund the lifestyle you want. Just look at it that way. Like this can, some of these things, which is the truth, because I got to a point where even people would email me for gigs, but I used to decline most of it because I knew my worth. You get what I'm saying? But now, but it's like, how can you know your worth when you ain't got no money? It didn't make any sense. So sometimes I'll be crying, rejecting. You ain't got no money right now. They're trying to offer you this. It's still money. But I got to a point where I'm like, no, I'm not taking that. But at least now that I'm in a better place financially, if I say no, I can be happier. And also I can invest in like my goals or things that have to do with my family or things that makes me happy. I know I went on a lengthy journey. I don't know if I answered your question, but pretty much I had to get real. I had to get realistic. Ain't got no money. I have this expensive taste. I need some money, honey. And I went back to my first love. Everybody's doing IT. I tried the IT. I'm not saying I'll never join you one day, but I can't do it. I can't lie. I really can't. I can't lie on my application and say I've done work that I've never done. And there's nothing wrong with anybody who does that. To each his own. But it was just, this is more of like, because of my faith, right? I'm a Christian. I believe with God all things are possible. And if I really trust in God, I feel like me lying on my application, it's doubting him. Okay. So again, though, guys, if you see me next year saying tech girl, if you take on my battle, don't come from
and we're gonna pivot. And on that note, we're gonna pivot to Dayo.
Too deep. Black girls in tech is all the rage. So if you
thank you. Dayo, please, same question.
But people are saying in the comments that you were appreciate you.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, thank God.
But a lot of people can relate to that, you know, especially
but that is the truth. Not everybody can do IT. Not everybody, but anyway.
And just everything in general, like what you're saying.
In general, what you're saying.
It's hard. It's hard to admit when you hit that wall and you're like, okay, I have to go. I have to go back to what I was doing before. And I thought I left it to get, you know, and I'm sure other entrepreneurs in here can also testify to that. Like you quit your job and you go out to do your own thing, but then you realize like, let me get back to that 40-hour check because you know, sometimes like you said, when you have children, like reality comes and it don't play. Like you can't take the same risk. C actually asked a question, and we're going to get to her question after Dayo talked about how him and his wife have handled finances. But so I'll get back to. She actually has a question on finance. So
Yeah.
we'll come back to
Dayo.
Dayo.
Cool,
Go ahead.
cool, cool. Listen, first of all, Nife, you the realest. You the realest one around. Don't keep that same energy. You are real as
Yeah.
shit. You're making me just like I'm kind of like, ooh, I needed that jolt.
The Harlem
So
Shake.
thank you. Come on now, we still got it.
Yeah, Dayo, you're crazy.
Son, but you just said something about whether you quit your job. Now, Nifa, you were down there talking about these low moments. Let's not just talk about quitting your job. Let's talk about if you're sacked. You understand?
Yeah.
I was literally looking off in the distance and thinking about my journey, like while you were talking, Nifa.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was assistant director at University of Maryland, but it was a contracted position, right? So we're going to lead into finances. It was a contracted position. Now, those of you that know, if you have a contracted position, it can be renewed at the end of the year, depending on how long your contract is, whatever. Well, I'm dating my wife. They're telling me, hey, the contract is not renewed. So that was the first iteration of me saying, okay, I've been forced into this moment of full time. And it was a complete failure. It was a complete failure. I looked at how much I was making. These gigs, and part of it is that self-worth, right? And it's amazing how much power creatives have now. I was around, and first of all, I'm 39, to anyone listening. So people that think they've been in the game or all this stuff, they're waiting for something to pop. Take your time. Put in your hours, yo.
Put in
Put
your
in your
work.
time, bro.
Put in the work.
Put in your time. This shit is not easy. I remember sitting there with my wife like, yo, this full-time thing is not working out. Meanwhile, she's already been, she was my girlfriend at the time. She's already been holding me down, like, just as a man who's not really getting it going. And it's that type of energy where you have where your pride is lowered. Like you said, Nife, I have an education. I have a background. I have a master's degree. Let me go out and get another job. I have to do what makes sense for that moment. And there should be no shame in that. There's a reason you went to school. There's a reason you put in the hours. There's a reason you like you said, you don't have two heads. Does that next person have two heads? You literally are made to do whatever you need to do. Taking leaps and taking a leap right back. There's nothing wrong with that. Your time will come. There's a moment for you. I remember being in
Amen.
that space. So before my wife and I got married, we did marriage counseling. We did premarital counseling. One of the best decisions I've ever made. Because as a man, even from a maturity level where I was, not really trying to grasp the fact that I'm going into a union with someone who was raised completely different than me. This is the miracle of marriage. You have two people from two different backgrounds, different identities, different ways they've grown up, coming together and saying, let's do this life thing together. That's madness. You know what I'm saying? So,
Crazy. I
Yeah.
say this all the time, Dayo. Like
All the
full
time.
sustained and
Crazy.
Yo, Dayo sounds so in love when he's talking about his wife. I love it.
As he should. As he
Just
should.
let her.
Mr. Olu Superman.
Nife, you just gave me props for the evening. So thank
Oh,
you,
she's
Nife.
watching.
She better be watching. She got them kids. Hopefully she got the headphones on. I love her. But we talk about what was I saying? Okay, finances. What was I saying?
You were talking about like your journey. You were talking about your journey.
Cool.
It's okay.
Hell
Nifed
yeah.
messed you up.
I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. No, it's okay, sis. Failure coming back.
You were saying how
All right.
she held
Anyway,
you down.
okay. No. Premarital counseling. Premarital.
Oh, man, yeah.
So being married in general is just madness. That premarital counseling did so much for us. We tackled and addressed things that we didn't even think to come up with ourselves. Granted, ours was by the same minister that eventually married us. So he's a Nigerian. So you can imagine us even like you. There's some things. Do we even talk to this uncle about this stuff? I don't want him knowing I don't want him knowing I used to be a savage. I don't want him knowing I'm changing my life around for this lady. I don't want him know, you know what I mean? I don't want him knowing certain things. But all those walls of pride, you just let that go because you realize I'm going into this journey with someone. I have to be up to par. I have to be at a level. I have to be at a standard. I have to do as much as I can. And part of our premarital counseling was putting our accounts together. We did money, how we're going to do our finances. Everyone does whatever you need to do. However you handle your finances is your own. I have my account. She has her account. We have an account together, and we have savings.
Mm-hmm.
Our account together, that's where my money goes. My money goes to our account. That's our account. That's where my money goes. Now, if I want to now say I need to do something here in my checking, we now move as we need to and pivot. That's our own relationship. That works. We pour into a cup together. As she gets paid, we're pouring into our cup. Something to do with the children's, the house, this and that. We're pouring in. Boom. We're both doing our thing. But then we also have our own accounts. We have our saving, and we manage as we can. So whatever it is you do, financially, whatever it is, that partner needs to understand there might be, their whole business might just go to shit one day. Now, are you ready to take?
He's right.
Real
Yo,
talk.
people are getting canceled for less. Even if I
Yeah.
say something on here that someone might not like, they'll be like, that photographer, man, I ain't like what he said. Forget that
I don't
dude.
like
They
what he
start all
said.
kind. The game
God
is
forbid you ain't
crazy.
getting
So
canceled.
I don't you.
you are.
We
Well,
don't
God,
believe in cancel culture.
okay,
Nope.
that's real. That's real. But that energy of partnership, bro. Knowing, I might be down, I might be way up, and if I'm way up, let me not put you down. If you way up, don't put me down, cause I might be down too.
Yeah.
We're in this together, man. We're in this
Yeah.
together.
Yeah. Okay. Memi, did you want?
Yeah, okay, so like Toya C had a question, and I think we've kind of talked around it. Like when you guys talked about like departing from Dayo about he got let go from a contract. Nife talked about BCBG going out of business. Sorry, I didn't even say that, but
I'm not care. Nobody's fault.
your old job.
I don't care.
Okay.
But yeah, her old job going out of business.
All the tea is spilled on
And
the marriage pinnacle, y'all.
I know. I'll just be. I don't have no. Sorry.
Look at
I'm
Lara sipping
joking.
her
I'm
tea.
joking.
I'm teasing.
Lara, don't be sipping tea on me.
I'm not 17. Go ahead. Please continue.
Okay, Toya C's question was, is it smart to transition from a corporate job or a 9-to-5 job to content creating or influencing without the guarantee of a monetary return on investment? Or is it okay to take that risk sometimes? So do you guys understand the question? Was that clear?
I understand.
Yeah.
Dad, do you want to take a stab at it first, or
I got you. Nife, if you will allow me to, I will do.
because you wise. I didn't know you were at 35, looking like 29.
Great.
I'm
That don't
39,
crack.
but thank you, sweetheart.
39.
I appreciate
39.
that.
Sorry.
Let me just show
I meant to say
you.
39, looking like 29. No, because when
You
you
see,
said
you see this
35,
melanin?
oh, he's older than all of us.
Y'all know me. I'm the
Yo,
principal. Let
you
him
guys,
answer his
you
question.
guys should be calling me Bros D. In fact,
I
or
cannot.
Uncle Dayo. I'm
Yo, Dai,
joking.
answer the question. They're gonna
Calling
kick
him
us out.
Dayo.
It's a really
I'm
good question, by the way,
joking.
Toya C.
Look, that's actually a
All
really
right,
good
Toya
question. So
C.
for people
Yeah,
who
it's a
Toya
didn't
really
C.
good
hear,
question.
people,
Toya C. Here's the deal, right? People have to understand. I have a friend going through this right now. He's an artist, he's a rapper, but he also works at a top business firm, KPMG, one of those. The guy is using his talents and his skill set to fund the life that he wants to eventually transition to. No matter what you do, there should be an intersection of your dreams. So even if you're doing something that's a 9 to 5, you're knowing that 9 to 5 can pour into another avenue of your life, whether it be the training you get at that 9 to 5. This is why I encourage everyone to go to college. There's an experience that we got at college that helped us be able to communicate, interact with different people from all different races and cultures, know how to be away from home, knowing our own deadlines, responsibility. So there's certain things that you get from a 9 to 5 that you're going to be able to use to transition to whatever creative thing you want to do. Now, when it finally shifts, it's that teeter-tottering of energy, right? Okay, I'm getting money at this 9 to 5. My YouTube page is growing. Damn, how much work am I really putting here? When you get to that point where you're like, damn, I can really shift, and I have the mentality or the idea that I can easily bounce back if it doesn't work out. Make that leap ASAP. Don't delay. Don't delay. Don't delay. Your delay is delaying the lifestyle that you want. And if you really want it, you see women like Nife, you see these girls you see them so much you get annoyed. Don't get annoyed. Clap for those girls. This
Yeah,
thing is not easy. This
yeah,
thing is not easy. They're influenced. They have schedules. They have other lives. They're balancing this. They're having that. I'm lucky enough to be a photographer, a creative director, a director, but also be an influencer. I get influencer gigs because I found a way to finally make money off my personality, which is me being me.
yeah.
If you're doing something that is naturally you, how can it be work? So there's things that we're all doing in these spaces we might be doing for life. I can see my sisters right here going from here to a book, to a podcast, to a TV show, to taking it to Niger, to taking it on the road. We're already seeing Lara at weddings, interviewing people. What y'all are doing is on some other stuff. So keep that energy going. They all got 9 to 5, but don't get it twisted. They're in the back of their mind. They're not like, hey sis, things are moving. We're about to do our first live function over at Dayo Studio at the dojo. So
Come
you know what I
on.
mean? We're about to do a
Come
live
on.
event there. Ticket sales are going crazy. It can happen in a moment. Me and my buddies always say we're one picture away from anything. One photo away. I know photographers that have taken one picture and their career path has just skyrocketed in a way. So
Ooh, you dropped some gems.
you're always
You
one
dropped
step
some
away.
gems.
Yeah.
And I just want to piggyback off of that. And I think that, like, at least I can speak personally for myself. I feel like that is such a great point. I think that, we teeter on, is my purpose or my passion going to generate income or whatever the case may be. But I think that when you get to that point where all you want to do is your passion, then something's got to give. I do feel like, sometimes a 9 to 5 can afford you the benefit of having steady income, can afford you, like, okay, I know that I'm going to be good. I can pay the bills. I can eat. I can do whatever. However, when you realize that you're spending 8 hours of a day giving yourself to someone else's company and then you have no time for what you really love, I feel like that's when that balance comes. And so for me right now, I feel like I'm at that point in my life where my 9 to 5 is absolutely a necessity right now. However, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the gift that God has given me. And I feel like, okay, I need to take steps to walk in my purpose. So I absolutely love what you said, Dayo. I thought that was so, like, profound. So.
And I would like
Lara,
to add something.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nife. Go ahead. No. I just say, is Lara making an announcement live? Is Lara making an announcement live on Marriage Pinnacle that she's quitting her job?
That
And, like,
what?
what
I
is
am
going
not
on?
quitting. I am not quitting my job. However, I am taking steps to walk in my purpose. There you go.
Full-time MC.
No.
Amen. Okay, sorry, Nife.
So
I
I
agree with. Please go ahead, sis.
what Dayo and Lara said. I'm just gonna be realistic. Many of these people lie on social media. It's not like they're exaggerating. Many people lie on social media, and I know this because we think all these people are popping, and then when they finally pop, 5 years later, they tell you about how they struggled last year, and you're like, wait, but you were jamming. My thing is, do what works for you. Make sure it's something that you really want to do. I'm a Christian, so I believe in praying and talking to God. Right?
Come on.
Obviously,
Amen.
Whether you're single or you have a partner, even if you have a partner, then you really got to think. If you got kids, then you got to be realistic, right? Have a savings account. So let's say you're even at that point, because even like right now, I can't really create content because of my job. I don't have time. By the time I go, I'm physically drained. I'm mentally drained. I'm pregnant, and I have a daughter and a husband. So you have to think about stuff like that, because creating content is hard. It's like it's not a 9 to 5. You're working around the clock. And now, for example, you have to go with the trend. You have to do a lot of videos. You got to think about stuff like that. But let me just go back. Let me rewind. Have a savings. That would be my suggestion. And have a plan. Meaning, most of these people that I know that did such, it was like, okay, I saved maybe 10K or I saved 15K. And when you think about those 10K, 15K, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. When you don't have a job, it's not. By the time you pay your bill, by the time you pay car notes, car insurance, God forbid, when that one breaks down today, that's already 500 gone. So I just want us to be realistic. It's not as big as we think it is. And it's hard to say. So let's say you have like 10, 15K in your account and you're like, I'm going to go hard at this. And in 4 months, if I'm not getting what I'm supposed to get, I'm going to start applying for jobs again. I think you should have a realistic plan. That is something that you don't trust in your purpose. That is something that you don't trust in whatever God has told you. But sometimes I feel like we're going off of our feelings. And our feelings are not always valid. And when I say going off of our feelings, because Memi quit her job and now she's selling a book about how she made 100K her first 2 weeks. I feel like that is what God is telling me to do. That is just how you feel. That may not, like, everybody has their own journey. So I'll personally say, think about it, have a plan. So even aside from that, like financial plan, what are you going to do? Do your research.
Yeah.
What do I have to, for example, let's say, oh, I'm a photographer. What do I have to do? Okay, well, Dayo is doing it. Maybe I can reach out to him because that's
Network.
one of my issues, right?
Network.
Networking is so important. I
Network.
don't network. I
Mm-hmm.
don't have blogger
Ah,
friends because I don't when they will invite me for events, I get invited to, I don't go because I don't like fake small talks. And unfortunately, you have to do those things. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do those things. I'm there, we're eating macaroons. Usually when I used to go to this all the time, I eat all the macaroons and then I go home and everybody's fake. I don't like stuff like that.
yo,
But you have to be
yo.
realistic. If you want to make it,
Yeah.
you have to attend those events.
Yeah.
You just have to. So you think
Yeah.
about, you do your research, right? Let's say there's some people that you really like. Look at what they do. Watch their stories.
Yeah.
Like, if, like I said, for to be a photographer, reach out to Dayo. And here's the thing: some of these people, they will not respond to you. All this where black upliftment, they ain't uplifting nothing. Some, I'm sorry. No, no,
Taking table
I want
take.
to be real with you guys.
Nife, you're keeping it real.
There's
You're
some
Yeah.
keeping
people
it
that I've
real,
met in
bro.
real life, and that one of that brand is uplifting black women. And I met you. The first time I met you, I talked about some of these black women that you're writing yes under their comments. So what I'm just trying to say is this: you gotta fend for yourself and just pray that God will connect you with certain people in that, because it's
Amen.
network is so important. It
Yeah.
really is. But
Yeah.
again, can you do it? Yes, you can do it. But let's
Yeah.
just be honest. Let's be honest. How many people are making it? You can make it. I'm not saying you will not, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Most of these people who have made it, it took time. There's
Yeah.
nothing called overnight success. They say every overnight success took 10 years.
Yeah.
There's
Come
nothing, it's
on.
only very few. It's only very, very, that's how you go open YouTube channel. It's only very, very few people will open and will blow up. People don't blow up like that. Let's just be honest. It takes hard
Come
work.
on.
And there's
Yeah.
It
nothing wrong
does.
with that, because if you love what you do, you're going to pour into that. But I
Yeah.
just want us to be honest. It's
Yeah.
going to be tough, but you
And I
can
think that
Nife.
do it.
also,
But
I think,
it also depends on where you are in your life. I have a child and another child coming. I can't be doing nonsense. I can't be making risky decisions that I used to make back in the days. I really cannot. You have people that you're responsible for now. And like I said earlier, even with your spouse, you don't want to stress your spouse out. Like you want to reach, you have a certain standard too that you want to uphold, blah, blah, blah. So can you do it to us? Say yes, but I would say be realistic. Unless, like I said, I'm a Christian. I'm a woman of faith. If God
Amen.
came, like how God talked to Moses, Toya, Toya, how many times I call your name, like Nigerian movies, get up, quit your job, and go do it. Even
Yo,
God doesn't work
yo.
that way. Like even when Jesus was
Nife.
here, just had a plan. He did not come and just die. The man
yeah.
did many things before he got to that final
Yeah.
destination. So we have our own journey. Social media has made everything look so easy. It is not easy.
Yeah.
I
And
don't care. Even if you're making money, especially for black people don't even make as much money as all these Caucasian people.
Come
But
on.
whatever,
yeah.
Come
that's a
on.
for another day.
That's a
So can
whole
you do
different
it? Yes,
conversation.
but
A whole different
please be
conversation.
realistic. Don't let society push you into doing these things. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with having your 9 to 5 and
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
doing your passion, especially if you're still single and you don't have
Mm-hmm.
kids yet. Like when you start having kids and stuff, it becomes harder. But there's
Mm-hmm.
nothing wrong with that. There are many people that are making it, they're thriving in their 9 to 5 and
Yeah.
being content creators. You can do it. And even if nobody does it, you can be the first one.
And
All
also,
that
I think
matters is
Nisa,
that
I'm going to
you're
cut you
happy.
off. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Sorry, because I feel
Don't
like
be cutting
I
me
don't
off
want
because
to.
I'm done.
I am going to cut you off. I am. I'm going to do it respectfully though. I'm going to do it respectfully though. I'm going to say, because I want to make sure that we like there's questions and stuff like that. But I do think that it's important that we don't negate from the fact that um yes, Dial is where he is today. Yes, Nifa is where she is today. But I think that we need to go back to the themes of like the consistency as well. And I think Nifa, something that you talked about earlier was that you felt like you weren't as consistent, and that could be because of a lot of things. It could be because of the trends were happening and you weren't maybe wanting to join a certain trend, or you felt like maybe you weren't as inspired or whatever the case may be. And then Dial, same for you. Like it has to there I think that there's a level of consistency that's required for
Yeah.
you to be for you
Yeah.
to maintain a certain lifestyle. And I think that that's sometimes where people they get that one pop, or they get that one picture that they took, or that one thing that went viral, and they think that from there everything's supposed to be easy breezy. But one thing I do know about people who create content, myself and Memi included, is it's not easy. Like it's something where
Yeah.
you're racking your brain and you're having to like, okay, what's the next thing? How am I not going to be redundant? How am I going to keep people engaged? How am I going to keep people wanting to come
Yeah.
back? So I think that that's also something that we need to keep in mind as well is that, you know, these things aren't just one-offs. It requires consistency. It requires like longevity. For you to be in the game for a long time, you got to be consistent. So,
Lara, let me speak to that quickly, because you have a great way of putting it together. First of all, these comments about my sister Nife are
That's why
hilarious.
I'm laughing. Toya,
They,
see your line there.
and,
But can
and,
I say
and
something
from now
quickly?
on, we cut
The last time I
all
gave
house to
testimony
Sani
in church, they were like, they
Nife.
wanted to take the mic from me.
and I'm literally going to mute you myself because I'm just like, you got to
The
keep
fact
it
that they're
moving.
correct,
We
I
have
mean,
to
it's
keep it moving.
They call her
Dio, so I'm
to
going to
Sanife.
transition. Dio, go ahead.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So
she's so
what you're saying is so amazing. That consistency piece. I think one of the things that separates those that make it and those that don't make it is having the idea of collaboration, right? So I talk with my boys all the time. My homie Tony, Idris, a couple of guys I do work with, my business partners. I say this about our community in general right now, right? So if you look at Africans, right, in the DMV alone, there's no reason this DMV area shouldn't be a creative hub internationally. We
Agreed.
have too many talented people. Sometimes people are looking at these influencers online, all these bloggers. They be like, "Oh, I love this guy. I love this guy." I'm like, "Yo, the person lives in Montgomery County. The guy lives in Arlington. The guy lives in
Yeah.
Hyattsville.
Yeah.
All these people are right here, but there's this mentality of, oh my gosh, they're so great, they're so big, I can't talk to them,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm over here doing my thing. Oh Lord, if people see me with them, it's gonna take away from me. That needs to get thrown out the damn window. We have
Yeah.
too many
Agreed.
talented people. There's no way they talk about Nollywood, Bollywood. There's something here that we're doing. We're too creative. We have people on Instagram. We have people at Nike. We have people at Google. Africans, we're everywhere, man. So I get encouraged by
Yes.
collaboration. At my studio, the dojo,
Correct.
it's one of our principles: connecting, creating, and collaborating. There should be no reason people
Yes.
aren't connecting with new people. Okay? There's no reason
Mm.
you shouldn't be collaborating with people you meet. What do you do? I do this. Let's put our heads together and do something better. And then there's no
Mm.
reason you shouldn't be creating from that collaboration. So that's my energy. That consistency is what's taking things to the next level, because it's not
Yeah.
always about my ideas. It's about the energy and ideas that are being poured into me. Dio, you
Yeah.
should try this. People don't know. Little things people might say to me just like on the whim, like, yo, I like that shoot. You should try this. Or, yo,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever tried working with this? Yo, there's a shoe brand that really aligns with you. I think it would be really good to connect with you. All that is real. And all I'm going to say is, what role do you want to play in what we do?
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to get paid?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing this shoot with Nike. They have space for 4 production people, 2 us. What do you want to do? That's the energy we need to be on. We
Yeah.
got to do better.
Amen.
I want to collaborate with you, Nife. Can't wait till we shoot. I already smell it coming.
Hey,
Shoot with Nife coming. Shoot with Lara coming. Shoot with Memi coming. You know what I'm saying?
What's
Marriage
up?
Pinnacle. And I'm
Me
here
and Lara
for
in
you.
a photo.
And
Picture.
What's up?
let me tell you something. One more thing.
don't be fronting when I
There's
hit you up after this
this
live, bro.
I told. But this is one thing. This is for the men who are watching, right? I've learned now with my relationships with women, like the women in this space, that we have to do a lot more. And I don't mean we're not doing enough, because men immediately start pumping their chest and saying, but I'm earning, I'm doing this, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
No, 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 no. There needs to be an essence of support with what women are doing. I've
Mm.
learned more than ever in the creative space that the hurdles that I even have to deal with as a black man, they have to deal with 2 times, even coming into the space of black men in some of these creative spaces.
Mm.
So that energy, I'm really trying to do my part in giving people opportunities, not only that I didn't have, but making sure women are being highlighted and seen as well. So that's just a challenge to the men, bro. Do whatever you can. This shit is hard for these women. It's really crazy. As I talk to women and actually sit down and realize things that they're going through and what's happening. Not to say I know or I can feel it, but I empathize, and I know I need to do more, and I'm trying to do more. So holla at me.
We
Let's
appreciate
talk. I'm here
Right.
for you.
So we
And
did. We
let's go.
dropped Nife. we dropped Nife and Dayo's IG profiles there. You can say Marriage Pinnacle sent you. So, you know, if there's something that you see in Dayo, there's something you see in Nife, collaboration, advice, whatever the case may be, we encourage that communication. Again, like trying to just bring it back full circle. So obviously, again, we're talking about marriage and the importance of like support and communication and things like that. And so I just wanted to ask Nife, and you're going to keep it to a minute.
You gonna respect me,
I'm prefacing
it.
You gonna respect me,
It
I'm an
said
unborn
chill,
child. Because
I'm
Nife.
going to preface
Olave
it.
been going in on me.
I'm going to preface it.
I'm more
We're going to
versus elementary school, and she going in on me.
Ma'am. So I'm going to ask, like, what advice, again, and you can talk from any app, you can talk from the space of being a creative, a mother, a wife, whatever the case may be, but what advice would you give to somebody in a relationship or in a, whatever the case may be, what advice would you give to somebody looking or unsure about walking in their purpose, I would say? What advice would you give?
What advice would I give who? Sorry. A creative in a relationship? Sorry.
I'm gonna give the mommy brain. I'm gonna allow the mommy brain to. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna repeat the question. I'm gonna repeat the question. So I said you can speak from any space you like. You can speak from the space of being a mom, a wife, a creative, or whatever. But what advice would you give to someone who's maybe unsure about walking in their purpose, unsure about just whatever? What advice would you pour into somebody? I'm just listening to
Take
this
your
live.
time. There's no timeline. They typically say whatever comes naturally to you. Because oftentimes, what am I good at? I don't know what I'm good at. Whatever comes naturally to you. If you like talking, like Lara, she talks a lot. I don't know why she told. Now she MCs. But
Bye.
anyways, no. But honestly, try to find if you have a core group of friends. You don't need like it's not about the quantity, it's the quality. My friends hold me down. I'm not. I know marriage pinnacle. That's why we say husband, because this is more about relationship. But I have friends that hold me down. I have friends that I can be honest with, and they'll be honest with me. That I can be vulnerable with. And another thing, if you're like a creative and you're getting into a relationship, or you're trying to marry somebody, blah blah, or you guys are getting married, have honest conversations. One thing I always say is this: I wish Ola and I had conversations about how life would change once we had kids. I feel like I was not realistic enough in that sense. Do you get what I'm saying? So just always communicate and just live your life. If you need help, reach out to people. If someone does not answer you, move on to the next person. But I know Lara and Memi, they're always great people. So if y'all going through some things, hit them up. You can always hit me. You can hit Dayo. Dayo is cool. But just do what feels right for you. Don't let society rush you. Don't do things because it seems cool. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own purpose in life. I'm gonna go now because Lara will embarrass me. So, and I got pride or whatever.
Thank you for keeping that under 2 minutes. And so, Dayo, I guess I would throw the same question to you. What advice, or what do you feel like are your like final thoughts in regards, and it could be relationships with a spouse, a partner, a friend, whoever.
Yeah. Make sure this is for the people who are looking for a partner or anything like that in this creative space, or whatever it is. You really have to look at this term of alignment, right? Words like friend. I think one of the biggest things with my wife and I is our friendship. We argue like any other couple, but we know how to handle our arguments. We take time. We may step away from each other, be in different rooms. I'll come back and be like, "What's up, my nigga? You good?" She'll be like, "Are you good? Like, do you want to?" You know what I mean? Because when it boils down to it, we're having a moment of disagreement. But dude, you're my homie. Like, you're the same person that we wake up. I'm looking at you. We're figuring out our day. You're the person that brought these children into our lives. Like you carry these kids. So that energy of that friendship, that bond, I think that's what, because I'm listening to all of you guys, and I've seen you guys with your partners. You have an element of friendship. You have something there. And that whole thing of that person needs to be your best friend, that's not a real thing. That person does, however, need to be your friend. You need to rock with them. You need to rock with them when shit is bad. Like, people want to marry someone. Oh, my wife, she's so beautiful. She's so great. Okay, the beauty won't be forever. In fact, her energy that you think she has, yeah, her energy, she's amazing, my wife. That energy might go away. Then what? Then you're looking at each other and you really got to decide, damn, I'm with this girl. Can I be with this person and be friends with this person when there's the things that I loved most about that person aren't there? So you have to really align yourself in that space. I would also say this as a last note is your tribe is your vibe, right? There are people like myself who want you to avoid making this mistakes that I made coming up in this creative space. So I'm here to drop whatever gems, and I don't consider myself a master or a guru or any of that crap. I'm somebody who's been through trials and tribulations, has come out on the other side. I'm somebody who's a first generation Nigerian
Amen.
who has now created a business and a standard in the creative space where nobody said you can do. Doctor, engineer, lawyer, right? So I'm someone that went against the grain. Find your tribe, find those people that can give you advice and say this or that. And you never have to listen to everyone's advice. We're all telling you things that we've experienced, something that may help you in your situation, or it may not. Do what works for you. Take limited advice, not from everyone, from people you trust, and pray to God. That's for you. That's for you, Nife. Make sure you pray.
Thank you.
And just so you know, Dayo spoke for 5 minutes, but we ain't gonna go into that.
That was
You know,
really good.
I'm not going there with you. I'm not. So,
Nife, I had minutes left
No, but
over.
Lara, can you smile a
I
little
had
bit so that
minutes
people
left
know that
over
we're
from
actually
earlier,
friends
Nife.
and we love each other, please?
we do love each other, obviously.
No, but smile. So,
Yeah, roll over a minute.
Oh my gosh, Lisa. Okay, guys. So we're at an hour 30. But I did want to kind of tie everything back together. And Memi, if you feel like if there's something I missed, you can, obviously jump in. But I think that a lot of takeaways from the conversation are obviously the communication piece. We heard about alignment. We talked about, not having pride where you can ask for help or maybe realize that right now this might not be the best move for my relationship, for where I am, my mental health, or whatever the case may be. And then also leaning on your tribe. And I think that goes again, those are some of the foundational principles that we have for Marriage Pinnacle is like really instilling and pouring into your relationship, be it your marriage, be it your friendship, be it whatever the case may be. And so we're always looking for suggestions. Chats from the Peak is going to be something that's going to be reoccurring. That's going to be, however, we're always looking for content to create. We're always looking for suggestions, things that you guys want to see. So we would hope that you guys would DM us, send us a link, and if you're not following Marriage Pinnacle. Memi,
Yo, let
anything
me
you
put
want to
this
add?
out there real quick.
No, I think
Oh, sorry. Let me go. Sorry.
no. Go ahead, Dayo. You're the guest.
No, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought it was like we're about to wrap up. I wanted to say something real quick. I just want to hold myself accountable, right? So I did some work with Essence Magazine a couple years back for Valentine's Day, where we focused on stories of just black couples in
I
the
remember that,
DMV,
the Black Love.
right?
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love to, I'm holding myself accountable. I would love to do something with Marriage Pinnacle where we're highlighting some married couples. We're doing
Y'all heard
something,
it here.
just some,
Don't
yeah,
make me
that's why
cry,
I'm holding
guys,
my,
please.
Y'all
that's
heard it
why I had to,
here. Y'all heard it here.
that's why I had to say it on here. So I'm holding myself accountable, but I would love to do that. And there's some other things I would love to do as well. This has been an amazing experience. Nife, one thing in my life, people always be like, oh, people that like me and you, Lara, that talk and our energy, and sometimes we say things people don't like. But what we always do is keep it real. So I don't
Yeah,
care if what somebody says, if they're doing it with their heart, bruh. And Nife,
absolutely
you are out
agree.
here keeping it 100.
100.
That,
People love that,
so,
Nifed.
so I rock with
Lara, don't
you. I
talk to
rock
me.
Go
with
back.
Thank
you.
you, Dayo. I'm gonna follow you after this. Look at Lara trying to piggyback and be nice. I don't know anyone that's not nice to someone pregnant, but Lara.
Hi, y'all. I mean, Nifed, really? Can Memi wrap us up?
Okay, yeah.
So what about the singles?
I know. We love the singles too.
Memi.
Always room for the singles. I don't think you were here when we said it earlier, but our goal is our page is called Marriage Pinnacle because at the end of the day, our ultimate goal is to build strong families. And strong families start with strong marriages. But in order to be in a strong marriage, you have to be a whole person. as a single. So everything that we say, it applies to every aspect of relationship. It applies to your relationship with your mom and your dad. It applies to your relationship with your siblings, the relationship with your friends, with your coworkers. Like being a good person, knowing how to communicate, knowing how to not be confrontational. It all works together. Because I'm really eyes. But
that's fine.
It all works together. So it's like the end goal is strong families. The end goal is to build up our Black community, our African community here. Like Dayo was saying, the DMV, we have so much good energy, so much potential here, and we just want to build marriage. The point of Marriage Pinnacle is to be a part of your tribe, to be a resource in your toolbox. So that when you know things are going hard, like, damn, let me go. Like, what did Marriage Pinnacle say on this? Did they have anything on their blog?
Communication. Dial, you was talking about it. We have shameless. We have many.
It's hard. Like,
it is.
Combined on here, we have like what 30 years of marriage just between the four of us. So it's not like we all probably have stories to bring out from the best day of our marriage and the highest of highs, and we have the lowest of lows when we wanted to walk away, when we wanted to leave this woman.
That's real.
So
that's real.
There's a wide range, and I think we've talked about it, but we talked about it during our live about how things look on Instagram, and it's like our page is not about that. Our page is not about the prettiness and how handsome my man is, how gorgeous I am, how beautiful my kids are. That's not what we're here for. We're not our page is kind of cute, but we're not here for it. We're not here for aesthetics.
Our page is nice.
Yeah, our page is cute. We can't lie. But we're here to get the nitty gritty. So you come to our peak. This is what you're gonna get. We talk to real people. We're real. We open up about ourselves. We have our guests open up and I just want to say thank you guys so much for being so open, for being transparent. Y'all didn't have to do this, but we're so thanthful. I'm thankful to all the followers you brought. Dayo, your community came out strong.
Dayo, thank you.
Came out strong.
Nife, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us, and shout out to you. You guys know how much I ride for your page. Whenever I see something, I call them and be like, yo, y'all got some work to do. Do you know that I just divorced? Have you seen the share room?
Literally. And so, yes, again, full circle, because I want us to be able to end the live. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We can't say it enough. Like, we are steadily building. We just hit 2K, and these are real followers. We didn't buy followers. You know what I'm saying? So we're steady with the content, and we're happy with where we are, and we're just going to continue to grow. We appreciate you guys for joining us. Chats from the Peak will be back soon. We'll just put it that way. So thank you guys for joining.
Comment warriors, Olaide, Tony, Nife.
Thank you guys.
What is Nife still here? Because Nife are logging out.
All my friends in the chat that have
practice.
What's up, y'all?
Thank you guys.
Shout out to the fellas. Shout out to the fellas.
Shout out to the fellas. Thank you. Femi, Dr. Femi, Dr. Tony. Idris is in there. There's a lot of people in here. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you guys. And that's it.
Okay, how do I say that?
Bye, state of our friendship. I hope you know that. Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Is this recorded and saved somewhere?
It will be.
I'm trying to.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Dayo, how do I save it?
Why didn't you ask me?
How do I save it?
No.
Don't ask
me. Whatever.
When it ends, there's gonna be.
It should ask you. It should ask you
to save. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Idris.
I'm real
and if there's no option to
Thanks,
save,
man. We appreciate you guys so much.
Stories. Make sure you put on your stories so that you can now save it from the stories too.
Smart. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Dayo. Thanks, guys.
Up on DM. Don't ignore me either.
Okay. Hey, I don't want no problems, Nife. I want no problems.
Bye.
Bye.